What's up nerds, another Thursday, another free Epic Games, and this time we get to make our own Jurassic Park with Jurassic World Evolution 2. Now just a real quick reminder before we get into the actual video, Epic Games is also giving away mobile games lately, but you can only see that if you go through their app, which you get by going to their site, and not the Play Store or App Store. The first month they did this, they gave us Bloons TD 6 and this game. The second month was of great value because they did give us Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, and that is fantastic to get both games for free. Now for the third time ever in giving away mobile games, Epic Games is giving away Super Meat Boy, which is a quite famous and popular and very frenetic 2D platform game, and also this other game called Eastern Exorcist, which I'm not familiar with, but tapping on it we can see that it is a 2D side-scrolling action RPG. And it does look pretty moody, I must say, maybe give it a try. And unlike the previous months, which the games were made available from the 20th of the month to the 20th of the next month for you to claim whenever, this time it seems it is only available for a week, and so I'm not sure if they're changing this to be a weekly free deal thing, just like they do with the PC games. We'll check again next week to see what is up. And even though there's only a install button here, you can tap to install and then cancel it right away if you don't want to install it in this device, and that will still claim the game forever. And we know it is claimed for good because if you wait a while, you will get an email from Epic like this, and you can see that it is a receipt for the game. So yeah, it's yours to keep. And for now, I'm only doing first impressions of the PC games because I don't have a cool Android device. But maybe in the future, who knows? Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, and then we can make a separate video for the Android games, but we'll see. Anyway, let's go back to Jurassic World. Now, the first one was also given away by Epic Games a long time ago, and I wasn't a huge fan of that one, to be completely honest. And though I'm not a huge fan of sim games in general, where you do build and manage things, attraction sims are something that I have fond memories of. I think mostly because I used to watch my older brother play back in the days. So things like Roller Coaster Tycoon, Zoo Tycoon, Sim Theme Park, things like that I do have good memories of, and even though they aren't my personal choice in gaming, I do appreciate them. So we'll try to keep things as objective as possible when looking through this. And right off the bat, there are these black lines here for me, which means the game is not running at 16:9 ratio, which I do prefer. And well, it seems they have a set resolution for windowed mode, and even for borderless, though they give you few options, they are specifically set options, which I assume are probably set there automatically to match the aspect ratio of my ultra-wide monitor. Maybe devs put this auto resolution thing to make things easier for the players, but I have to say, I am almost always frustrated at this. The moment I see that they don't let me play on my preferred ratio, I just instantly like the game less. Not only so, but every time this happens, I rue the day that I got an ultra-wide monitor. As cool as it is to play games on ultra-wide monitors, it is terrible when you're trying to make video content of said game, because ultra-wide video does look weird, so you want normal aspect ratio for your videos, but apparently a lot of devs don't think gamers can handle choosing their own aspect ratio. Anyway, I got a little sidetracked. Back to talking about the game itself. There is a free mode, which I do think is what will attract most people. And apparently there is a newsletter that will give you a skin for a car in the game. Kinda want it, but a newsletter? Come on. And there is a campaign. 2 of them are DLCs, I think, that you have to buy. Clicking on them does take you to Epic Games on your browser, so we do only get one of the campaigns here. This campaign does take place after the first Jurassic World movie, from 2015 I think, but many of the dinosaurs in the movie are smuggled out of the island to the United States, and so you are tasked to make small parks to take care of these dinos in the United States that you can capture. Of course, you have the help of a few familiar faces.
You could call me a dinosaur wrangler, though officially I'm an animal behaviorist.
Though one voice is not familiar. And though it is a campaign, it is also a sort of a huge tutorial. Slowly but surely, they will tell you how different mechanisms in-game work, what each of the building does, and so forth. The characters will talk to you and amongst themselves to kind of keep the quote-quote missions flowing. but also to give a semblance of a story as to why they and you are where you are doing what you're doing. And honestly, that's decent. It's not life-changing or anything, but it is decent, except when they're trying to be funny.
Owen, we have a real problem.
I'm trying, Clara, but it's just, well, this is who I am.
Not you.
Ah, the dinosaurs. Tell me something I don't know.
It's very corny, sometimes very cringy, but I mean, it is what it is. And this is much like any zoo game. You have to make the enclosure to the liking of the dino, use the money you get from the park to improve the park, go capture more dinos, make more enclosures, get more money, hire more scientists, research more improvements, and so on and so on. It is a simple concept, but a gameplay that does take some time, and it can be very satisfactory to see your park come along, or even just to watch your dinos go about their lives. That said, another neat part of this game is that you can take direct control of the ranger cars to go check on how the dinos are doing. And for a theme park game, the car controls are fairly okay. If you do go too fast, it can slide around a lot, and sometimes look completely normal. But for the most part, it feels pretty great to drive around and see the dinos. Not only the cars, but you can also take direct control of the helicopters, which can be used to capture the dino, so you can be the guy that shoots the tranquilizer at the dinos as well. And that part is, let's say, not as polished as the car. Helicopter is okay, not too terrible, but once you do change views as the shooter, then you can still kinda move the helicopter, like kinda hover sideways, but not fast enough to keep up with the dino. So you have to shoot a lot, and there's this huge bullet drop on the tranquilizer dart, so you will miss a lot. So for the most part, it might be just better to send the helicopter to trank the dinos on its own, instead of you trying to control it. Unless you really want to do it yourself. Then, hey, at least you get the option, right? Which is neat, I guess. But yeah, not much to talk about it. Each mission in the campaign is separated by different regions in the United States, so you will see some different terrains, which can be pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, overall, I think it is an enjoyable game, even if it isn't my usual go-to kind of game. But before I talk about it any further, let's see how it runs on the ROG Ally Z1E. So here we are on the ROG Ally. We are still in silent mode, as you can see, as per usual. It is getting 63 here on the main menu, but as you can see, cloud saving is working because my save file is there, which is fantastic. Wow, 10 frames per second, that's not very good. On the computer, it's very mouse centric. We are getting to 44, so it is getting better. And but it works very well with double stick. The right stick goes the usual WASD, and the left stick goes up, rotate, and down, which is fantastic. Left trigger zooms out, right trigger zooms in. So yeah, it is very controller friendly. So 30 frames per second, 20 frames per second, that's not too great. We might have to turn on performance mode, but again, this is not a game that is like full-on action heavy, so even if it goes down to like 20, I mean, I guess this is pretty rough to look at. At 20 is pretty rough. It was 40 not too long ago. I don't know why it went down. Carnotaurus are coming from the previous mission, so we will have to build the Carno. How do we nope. How do we go into build mode? Oh, there you go. So enclosures. Well, the arms like they like sand, right? That's sand. Save some water as well. That's good. I'm gonna research the city. How do I rotate? Pathway. Back to control center responsibility. Yeah, I think we're fine now. So Yeah, let's take direct control and see. Yeah, so it is a little laggy on silent mode. Let's put up the performance, and it is a heck of a lot smoother. Yeah, so the overworld part you can play on silent mode if you really want, but direct control of helicopter and car probably would be best if you put it on performance mode. So like you saw there, it does run pretty great on performance mode. The controls are also pretty good. It does take a little bit getting used to, but for the most part it is intuitive. It looks pretty good. It is pretty fun. Like I said, this is not my favorite type of games. I do tend to stick to RPGs, shooters, or even card games, racing, stuff like that. But management games, I'm not a huge fan of. That said, I did like it okay. I do think this one is a lot better than the first one. I don't remember much about the first one. I just remember that I didn't enjoy it too much. I played like 2 hours and then I quit and never looked back. But this one did make me want to play again, not just for the video. That said, as you can see, it is eating up a lot of battery, and so I'm not sure that this is something I would play on handheld, because this type of game, it does take time to build things, to look at things, analyze, see things happen. So probably better to play this on a desktop. And like I mentioned in some of the videos, I don't like playing with the cable plugged in on my ROG Ally. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of being a handheld. I don't want it to be connected while I'm playing in bed and stuff. So though it works pretty great and looks pretty great on the ROG Ally, it's probably not something I will continue to play on the handheld. But yeah, if you like management games and or just like looking at dinosaurs on their habitats, then this is definitely a pretty fun game. But what do you think? Are you gonna give it a try? Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider helping the channel out by clicking join down below to become a member. Subscribe to see more videos like this. And of course, always nerd on.